Here's why I'm on this tonight. Our Osawatomie shelter, beautiful, beautiful shelter, 3.5 acres, horrible past, beautiful future, incredible present. And that's what it is. It's living in the moment right now. But we take a look at everything and we think, okay, how can we make it better? How can we make this better for our animals there right now? And there are many animals in our shelter, when it's an open intake shelter, that come in on court holds. What does that mean? Sometimes, if it is a very serious case, it means we can't touch them. It means that they are in a confined space with a guillotine where they can go only side to side. Now, in the very extreme cases where this soul has done something likely to a human being, it's not only for our staff's safety, but this animal will eventually go to heaven. And that is nothing that we have in our control. But what we do have in our control is the ability to give them a space with peace. Now, if you think about our shelter in Osawatomie, it's kind of like any other shelter. It's 16 kennels lined up, a guillotine on each side, and the dogs bark. They bark, they scream, they bark at each other, they scream at each other, they walk by each other, they bark at each other. And that's not what we want. You know, think about a home. Like, literally, I've got 4 dogs sleeping right by me right now. Why? Because they know peace. Now, they're not barking at each other, not going nuts, but we want to give that to our animals. And we thought, what game can do that? And how can we do that with our court cases that we can't even touch? And we thought, well, let's give them a little tiny home where they can have access to inside and outside, where we can put a fence, a 6-foot chain link fence on the top too, so it's completely enclosed. And then if it's their last 10 days on this earth, they can at least feel the grass under their paws or the sun on their face. And they can have peace, where it's not just dogs screaming at each other. And then we thought, well, if we're going to do that to them, why not give that to our animals in our care as well? Let's put little tiny homes up. For anyone that has followed our page knows that TK and Copper have blossomed, literally blossomed, from the tiny home that we built them. And why aren't they adoptable? Well, they are still both reactive to new people. Copper cannot be trusted with new people. TK, he's wonderful, but he has triggers. And if we know that we know of these triggers, and we know that we are the safest people for them to be with, then we're going to love them forever. And we're going to give them a life worth living right now. And that's what the tiny home's doing. Let's take what we've learned. Let's take all of our failures and all of the lessons and all of the things that we've learned from, and let's apply everything good to our other shelters. And that's what Osawatomie is. That's what our lighthouses are. So from tonight, right now, to Saturday night, which is our gala, our biggest fundraiser of the night, we have an amazing anonymous donor who is going to donate up to $20,000, matching. That's the opportunity to raise $40,000. That's for 2 lighthouses. That's 4 dogs because they're duplexes. Guys, to give a shelter dog peace, I'd empty my whole 401k, my bank account. I would give every single paycheck I ever earned forever to give a stressed, sheltered dog peace. And that's what our pontoon outings are. That's why I bought a pontoon. Because, and not with donors' money, please know that I'll say it a million times, but there's always one person that yells and screams, oh my God, a rescue bought a pontoon. No, a rescue didn't buy a pontoon. A rescue didn't buy an RV. Our rescue didn't. Maybe some others do. I like to look at it. I shared this in a message group the other night. And I said, Sue, George, hi, I love you. You know that. But she gives me grief all the time. That I'm a big spender. I'm not a big spender. I like to think of it as I'm a big investor. I invest in joy. I invest in love. I invest in the souls that I believe in life, in things that are priceless, which is people and memories and our animals. And what better way to do that than if you have something that you love, then to share it with people. And that's why you get me on the morning lives. That's why I'm out with the minis all the time, our beautiful little minis. That's why if I ever have anything, I swear I will give it to this entire rescue forever, because this rescue has saved me in a million different ways every day. And it's not always easy. It's not always easy to wake up every day at 4:30 or 5. There are many, many days I am beyond tired and just want to sleep in, even though I never sleep in. And there are so many people in our rescue who feel the same way, but here's the beauty of it all. That's where you strip it all down. That's the human part of us. But the amazing thing is we keep going. We keep going when there's drama. We keep going when there's fear. We keep going when there's heartache. And we know that every day is just one more chance to save another life, to make another memory, and to share a little joy. So wherever you are, however you found us, and in whatever form you give, financially, spiritually, emotionally, just thank you. Thank you for believing that shelters can be different. And thank you for being joyful on this journey that does carry so much heartache and loss, and finding the good in every day, in every soul, every person, and every animal. And if you can, please consider a donation to our lighthouse, because it will be matched. So it's an incredible opportunity to double your impact. If you would like to mail a check, and you can use Venmo, PayPal, but coming Saturday night when the thermometer goes up at our gala, that's it. So we've got 5 days to do this. Or if you'd like to make a donation towards the medical care, guys, it's ongoing. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars every couple months, every month on medical. It's literally over 6 figures, because we take in the ones nobody else will take, because we take in so many cats, so many kittens, so many dogs that are heartworm positive. And we wake up every day without knowing how we're going to do it, but that God's never going to leave our side through all of it. So I don't know what else. Sometimes I can't see the comments. I think I see a comment right now. Are the lighthouses like TK and Copper's house? Yes and no. Good question. They're not going to look like that. TK and Copper's house actually looks like mine. I have a little A-frame house, and I asked them to do a little red A-frame house right next to the barn. But what we're doing in Osawatomie, if you click on the fundraiser, you can see they are going to be little mini white barns, and they're going to have a black roof and black trim and black doors that will be just like our white barn, which our Osawatomie shelter. Now, ultimately, our goal is to have at least nine little lighthouses in a row, spread out with their own individual yards, just like TK and Copper, with air conditioning, with heat. They will come insulated, and we'll have waterproof floors on there. There's actually 3 windows in the house with AC. Did I say this? Heat, just in case I didn't say it again. But what we want to do is we want to move all of our dogs that are in kennels in there into the lighthouses. And we ultimately someday want to have a little cat lighthouse too, so that our cats are completely separated from our dogs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our shelter that we all donated so much to and prayed and renovated, and make that an adoption center where people can come in, where we invite you in to be with our animals, to play with them inside. Because when it's 110 degrees, look at this dog behind me. When it's 110 degrees outside, it's not safe for our animals outside. And when it's negative 17 out, which sometimes it is in Kansas, it's not safe to be out. So they need a place to be inside, to be loved, to run. And it's not, and I say this all the time, it's not about waiting for an adopter to come or a foster to come. It's not about waiting to give them a life worth living. It's making their life worth living right now. And that's what these lighthouses do. That's what TK and Copper's house did for them. And we see it every day, and you can feel it from them. TK and Copper just exude love and peace. And that comes from consistency. And that comes from an environment where they know they're safe. And it's quiet. And they have the routine with the people that know how to care for them. So we want to take all these principles that we have learned, all these failures that I talked about before, and ultimately just make today a little bit better than it was yesterday to keep building a better tomorrow. And that's always and forever. That's who we are in a nutshell, and that's who we will continue to strive to be from now until forever, because this is not about my life or anyone else's life in this. This is about all of our legacy, to change the way shelters are run, to make how the current shelters are in many, many states and cities not only illegal, but just not only unacceptable, but someday our dream is that kill shelters won't exist. And it's such a sad fact that if only 6% of Americans adopted a rescue dog, 6% more of Americans adopted a rescue dog or cat, there'd be no homeless population. But that could just get, we're not going to get into that tonight. Another live for another day. But I did want to just jump on and just share a little bit about who we are, the initiatives that we have coming, and just how grateful not only I am, but our board is, and every single person behind the scenes is for all of you, for your faith, for your love, and for your prayers. So I hope you have a beautiful evening this incredibly hot and sticky Monday night in Kansas, and wherever you are, maybe it's a little bit cooler. I do have my AC cranked really, really low. That's why I'm always in sweatshirts. It's funny because if I'm on a Zoom on a work call, I always have like some type of jacket on because it's just freezing in my house, but it's just too darn hot outside. So guys, have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Just thank you.